Hello, and welcome to ET Deep Dive, ET's best reported stories on audio. This episode is based on Lijee Philip's report on a growing phenomenon in India, finding love after 60, and the financial complications that can follow. As more widowed and divorced Indians seek companionship, remarry, or move in together, families are confronting uncomfortable questions around property, inheritance, and succession. Because falling in love again may be simple. Figuring out who inherits what is anything but. It's Sunday, the 23rd of August. I'm Anirban Chowdhury. This is the Morning Brief. Theirs is a story that could have been a movie, with one crucial difference. Sameer Mukherjee and Ashish Agarwal had been friends since childhood in Kolkata. Their wives, Sheila Ghosh and Amrita Menon, were contemporaries too. They went to the same school in the city. Both had been taught by Dominic Braganza, a violin teacher. After marriage, the two couples settled down in the same neighborhood. They shared the ordinary rhythms of family life, celebrating anniversaries, sharing household problems, meeting over meals, and eventually watching their children grow up, get married, and leave home. The names of the couples have, of course, been changed on request. Their lives seemed to be completing an arc together. They were even looking at senior living facilities. Then came the first tragedy. Amrita was diagnosed with late-stage cancer. Within months, she passed away. Sheila and Sameer stood by Ashish through the loss. There was barely time for the grief to settle when tragedy struck a second time. Sameer died of a heart attack. The children of both families stayed with their parents for a while until they had to return to their own lives. For Sheila and Ashish, this friendship became a refuge. They had dinner together every other day. In the background played Air on the G string, a piece that evoked old memories. Friendship slowly turned to companionship. Soon, they fell in love. Both were in their 60s when they decided to live together. Ashish moved into Sheila's apartment with the blessings of their children. It was in many ways a silver romance with the makings of a movie script, with one important deviation. They may have been moony-eyed about each other, but they were clear-eyed about money. They are living under the same roof, but there is also one thing they have not combined: their wealth. He pays for household expenses and consumables. She pays for maintenance of the house and the car. Assets accumulated in their previous marriages remain separate. Their children are supportive. They do not want their parents to be lonely, nor are they demanding an early transfer of wealth. There is a reason why this arrangement works. By the time Sheila and Ashish found each other, they had built financial lives of their own. Ashish was Chief Technology Officer of an engineering firm in Kolkata, while his late wife Amrita had inherited considerable land in Kerala from her mother. She had sold several properties and accumulated substantial wealth. That money proved invaluable when Amrita needed emergency medical treatment overseas. After her death, her assets were bequeathed to Ashish. Sheila, who ran an NGO for underprivileged children, had her own financial history with Sameer, who was a finance head in a leading multinational company. Sameer was a prudent stock market investor, and his investments were held in a family trust. After his death, Sheila continued as a trustee and a beneficiary along with their children. Sheila and Ashish did not rethink financial decisions or redistribute wealth made in their earlier marriages. They shared their lives without sharing their money. Their story frames a question that is becoming increasingly important for Indians in their 60s and 70s. What happens when you enter a relationship later in life after families have formed expectations about inheritance? Some are dating. A few are choosing live-in relationships and others are remarrying. Matrimonial platforms are seeing growing demand from older people, while lawyers and estate planners are dealing with the complications that can follow a late relationship. Rajat Datta, founder of Inheritance Needs Services, a Mumbai-based company, sees a common thread in such relationships. The couples want to remain financially independent. It is not as easy as Sheila and Ashish would have you believe. In another family, children were happy when their widowed father found companionship. But they became apprehensive when the relationship became serious and the conversation stumbled on the family home. For the children, the house was more than an asset. It was where they grew up. It was a reminder of their mother. For the father, it was an asset he now solely owned and had every right to decide how to deal with. Nobody was fighting over money per se. The conflict was subtler. Could a parent begin a new life without changing what the children believed were their inheritance rights? That is how late life relationships collide with succession planning. Mumbai-based family and matrimonial lawyer Mrunalini Deshmukh says people are free to marry or not, but wealth needs to be dealt with consciously. I would tell the person to ring-fence it by a will or a document akin to a prenuptial agreement, she says. The issue becomes complicated when children from an earlier marriage are involved. A new partner may have financial or legal rights depending on the nature and circumstances of the relationship, while children may worry that the new relationship could alter what they assumed would eventually be their inheritance. Deshmukh says children are often accepting of their parents' emotional needs and may even actively encourage a widowed parent to find companionship. What makes them uncomfortable is not the new partner, but uncertainty around wealth. In a case involving a wealthy man in his 60s, he had to document the eventual distribution of wealth in a will. His companion was provided with just 20% of his wealth, while 80% went to his children. Deshmukh says, in her experience, only about 10% of children are not interested in receiving any share of their parents' wealth. So, the conversations around inheritance need to be clear. Growing life expectancy and people staying active and working for longer than earlier generations did are making these conversations urgent. At 60, a person could expect more than a decade of active life, which involves travel, companionship, medical care, shared homes, and changing financial needs. The shift is visible on matrimonial platforms. Murugavel Janakiraman, chairman and MD of matrimony.com, says people in their 60s and 70s are looking for companionship, not necessarily marriage on the website. He says, recently a mother-daughter duo registered on the platform. The mother, a widow in her 60s, was looking for a companion, while the daughter, in her mid-20s, was looking for a spouse. Janaki Raman says the trend reflects a broader demographic shift. People are living longer while their children are increasingly settled in other cities or overseas. He saw it up close when a support manager in the organization helped his father find a companion through the platform. Matrimony.com is now exploring whether services could be developed specifically for older age groups. When a second relationship is a new chapter, succession planning is the inevitable sequel. Datta believes private family trusts can be appropriate if capital protection, income support, and beneficiary needs have to coexist. He says his company Inheritance Needs has been addressing succession issues of people having Indian assets and live in relationships with foreigners. He also notes a strange pattern recurring in families. Indian parents are willing to provide lifelong financial security for their child, but can be reluctant to give the child's partner access to family wealth. The same reluctance is displayed by children when their parents remarry. Datta cites the case of Ranu Sachdeva, a widower with 2 married daughters, and Dr. Paritosh Gajju, a cardiac surgeon who had lost his wife and had 3 grown-up daughters living abroad. Both of them had substantial pre-existing family responsibilities. Their individual wills were modified to provide adequately for each other's sustenance if one partner died first, while minimizing the intermingling of their core wealth. It is the sort of planning couples rarely discuss when they fall in love, but lawyers caution them to be practical when it comes to property, wills, trusts, and expectations about what the current partner and children from a previous relationship should receive. The question is no longer whether people in their 60s and 70s can fall in love again. They do, happily. The harder question is whether a family can make room for that love without treating it as a threat to the wealth it expects to inherit. Some will keep their finances entirely separate. Others will use wills, trusts, and carefully structured arrangements to provide for both a new partner and children from an earlier life. It was once a predictable script for most: marry, raise children, retire, and grow old within the family. But now, the final chapter is becoming less predictable. The challenge is not choosing between love and inheritance, but finding a way to protect both. That's it for today. You were listening to the latest ET Deep Dive on audio. It was reported by Lijee Philip, narrated for audio by me, Anirban Chowdhury, sound designed by Rajas Naik. Keep following our podcasts on your favorite listening platforms.